After that homecoming last night, the president wanted a television moment, and he got one. Time for the evening news. This defiant doctors called it dangerous image, ripping off his mask, delivering this message to the American people: don't be afraid of the virus. Don't let it dominate you. And this came as the number of COVID deaths in the U.S. topped 210,000. The number of COVID cases linked to him and his inner circle continues to grow.
Yeah, it's at least 18 people tested positive so far. Among the latest, Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany and two of her deputies. Senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega is tracking this rapidly developing story. Good morning, Cecilia.
Yeah, Michael, good morning to you. You know, the CDC rules say that an infected person should stay away from others for at least 10 days after first experiencing symptoms. They also encourage people, especially those who are infected and contagious, to wear a mask. But President Trump, he is not following these rules. When he was in the hospital, he said he learned a lot from COVID. Now that he is out, he is right back to downplaying the seriousness of this deadly virus. Fresh off his release from Walter Reed, President Trump walked off Marine One and up the stairs to the White House residence. And then the president, who is still contagious, did something remarkable. He took off his mask, put it in his pocket, and saluted. Standing there maskless on the balcony, staring into the distance for a full 2 minutes. A White House staff photographer right there next to him, and the president, who is supposed to be in isolation, then walked inside to a room full of people. It was a made-for-TV moment, starring the president himself, and one the White House nearly immediately turned into a promotional video with a soundtrack to match. His message?
Don't be afraid of it. You're going to beat it. We have the best medical equipment. We have the best medicines.
But the reality, the president received treatment most Americans will never know from the best medical experts in the world. And the disease he says Americans shouldn't fear has now killed 210,000 people in this country, with cases on the rise.
I didn't feel so good. And I could have left 2 days ago. It felt great, like better than I have in a long time.
But that's after he was so sick he twice needed oxygen to help him breathe, an experimental drug cocktail, and an aggressive steroid usually reserved for the most severe cases. And now he baselessly suggests this.
And now I'm better, and maybe I'm immune. I don't know.
Yet hours earlier from his own doctors, a very different take.
Though he may not entirely be out of the woods yet, the team and I agree that all our evaluations, and most importantly, his clinical status, support the president's safe return home.
The president promises he'll be back on the campaign trail soon, though his doctors say he'll still be isolated inside the White House receiving around-the-clock care. And this morning, those doctors still refusing to answer critical questions about the president's health, including about whether there is damage to his lungs, information the president could release if he wanted to. President Trump at the top of a growing list of people who work with him or who visited the White House in recent days, now testing positive. His press secretary, Kayleigh McEnany, among them. She was just seen days ago taking off her mask to speak to reporters. Sources telling ABC News White House aides are terrified about a full-blown outbreak in their ranks, many avoiding the complex altogether. But from President Trump, just a day after saying he learned a lot about COVID,
I get it, and I understand it.
He's now back to downplaying it.
And I know there's a risk, there's a danger, but that's okay.
Now, the president will be working in the residence and not in the West Wing when he is there in isolation. Aides say that access to him is going to be limited. Those around him will be wearing that PPE. But remember, he's supposed to be in isolation around no one because he's still contagious. The White House says they're taking every effort to keep the president, the first family, and all those who work in the White House grounds safe right now. But, George, all that went out the window when he took off his mask last night.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.